Hi, I'm Sam. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm just going to talk about how poorly prepared the British Army currently are for a large scale war. So, the first point that I'd like to bring out, really, which is like quite saddening, is the fact that we're currently at 50% of what we were 30 years ago. Now, I kind of understand with spending, and they weren't forecasting or projecting another war at that time. But the fact is, to let it go 50%, the army is very reactive rather than proactive. And that really is apparent with what's happening today. And the second one is obviously recruitment and retention. You almost have many people leaving, or if not slightly more people leaving, that they are able to recruit. So what you're finding is as well is that when people are recruiting, all they're seeing is people leave, and they're just asking themselves, why are people leaving when we're just joining? Why is everyone so happy to leave at this moment in time as well? So that doesn't help. So yes, they can recruit people, but when they do recruit people, all they're seeing is people leaving, disgruntled soldiers leaving. And I think there are a couple of reasons for the disgruntled soldiers as well. And I'm gonna go into that right now as well. With one of them being the lack of infantry fighting vehicles. So when the warrior was replaced by the boxer, for instance, with the boxer being a personnel carrier and the warrior essentially an armored fighting vehicle. So we're really losing some fighting boots on the ground or fighting tracks on the ground. I'm just reading here off my laptop, and the lack of funding. The lack of funding is huge, man, especially for new and upgraded systems. So you got things like the British Army was only able to procure 1,016 boxers when they needed 1,300. And they only got 61 MLRS, multi-launch rocket systems, when they needed 75. So you've already got a massive loss there already. There's a huge reduction in the fleet of Challenger 2s as well, even though Challenger 3s are meant to be coming in. But there's huge ammunition shortages for Challenger 2s. And the ammunition is quite a big thing as well. So according to a lot of sources, what you'll have is the British Army will only have around 2 months of ammunition, supplies, capability. Those that are expenditures, essentially fire and forget, all they've got is 2 months, and that's it. So if you go into a huge war fighting situation, essentially the British Army could then find themselves after 2 months trying to get a lot of ammunition, etc. from, well, they essentially have to outsource it. So you got some major issues there as well. The Ajax fighting vehicle. So procurement is another huge issue within the British Army. So you had the Ajax come in, not fit for purpose, sent back again to the army, not fit for purpose. There are huge issues, and you're talking hundreds of millions of pounds that the procurement projects are going through. People are paying out, the British Army are paying out this money, and companies, these are civilian companies, are not delivering on time, but they do take the money. And the thing about civilian companies, they will go through those contracts, and then the British Army will say, well, we wanted this and we wanted that, and the civvies will come back and say, well, that wasn't in the contract. If it's not in the contract, it's gonna cost you extra. So then the British Army have to fork out money again. It is absolutely mind-blowing. As far as missile defense, we have a hugely inadequate domestic air and missile defense capabilities, which is pretty bad, to be honest with you. Especially ballistic missile defense, it's pretty much absent. Close support artillery, we have a huge problem with, and a lack of air support. So the paras, obviously, they haven't, like, the paras, I don't know, are they needed? I have no idea. If we went to war with Russia, and would the paras jump out of airframes into Russia? Absolutely not. They get blown out of the sky with the Russia air defense. Now, however, they still train. You still got to train, so you don't know what's going to happen. That's the whole point of being proactive and not reactive. However, we do not have the air capabilities. We do not have enough airframes within the RAF that we usually ask to do things like that, to fly the paras up, jump out of airplanes to get their wings. So what they've gone to now is a civilian contractor, which will cost a fortune. Absolutely, for definite, which will cost an absolute fortune. So they've now gone to a civilian company, which starts in Q1 2025, so pretty soon next year, and they're going to be running it. We don't even have the airframes to take our own soldiers up to the skies to train them to jump out of planes to get their jumps. It's absolutely incredible. And also, we've only got, probably there are a number of divisions within the British Army, but we could probably only mobilize one full division at this moment in time. And coming down from that, you have brigades, which, especially like 3 Commando Brigade, for instance, probably couldn't deploy at a brigade strength at this moment in time. So you do have some major issues, and there's other ones. So I've got this from like so many sources. I've read so many papers on this, and looking at it, you just have huge issues all over the place. So you've got issues from procurement to ground level fighting troops to morale to ammunition to all these places that you need. And you can see it with Russia at this moment in time. Russia started this war fighting within Ukraine, and it is hugely backfired on them, because they thought it would be easy. They thought they'd steamroller Ukraine, but Russia didn't have the trained, qualified manpower. They didn't have enough ammunition. They weren't paying their soldiers. Their capability was terrible. And now it's kind of backfiring. It's kind of backfiring on them, especially with Ukraine moving into Russia and the drone strikes on their ammunition depots as well. So if you look at that from a standpoint, and you look at where the British Army are now, whereby, yes, we are the biggest spender in Europe, the second biggest spender in NATO, only to the USA. You look at it and you think, well, actually, and we've only got 72,000 soldiers. Yes, they're professionally trained, and we are a huge asset within NATO. But if something huge was to kick off, how long could we sustain it? How long can we last? We are in a huge deficit financially, around 16 billion, even though the government has pledged, I don't know, like 40 odd billion up until 2030. Looking at it now, I think the British Army is not in a good place. But those are my thoughts. If you have any thoughts, please just let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.